In order to get done, though, we must get started. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. Time is marching on, Jeffrey.
Can it stop? Can we do something about that? Can we get our top people on this, please?
Yes,
with the time?
that's what today's story is about. Time travel has finally happened.
Thank God.
We're going back to fix it all.
I don't even need time travel. Just stop it. Just stop. Stop.
Just froze.
Hold it. Hold up. Give me a second. Let me breathe for a second, please.
Hey, hold up a minute. Hey, everybody. Hold up a minute.
Just fucking wait. Wait.
Yeah. Well, this is sort of about that, in all honesty.
Okay.
This is from your co-conspirator, Cahoots, on the Discord.
He's going to be in town next week. I'm having dinner with him and his wife, I think. It's going to be lovely. I'm excited about it.
I'm gonna glare angrily through the window at the two of you. That's what I'm gonna do.
Don't you want to invite him in? No. He's happy out there. He
does not want to come in, and you do not want him in. Just like Spider-Man 3 style with Harry Osborn.
That's right.
That's what I'm doing. This was sent in by Cahoots, and it is about the movement of time and slowing down time, but it has to do with the perception of time, which is something we've talked about before.
Yes.
We've talked about how emotions change our perception of time.
Yes.
Fight or flight changes our perception of time.
Yeah.
All of these things. But we haven't talked about physiologically changing our perception of time.
Like having to pee?
Yeah, like having to pee.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, speak more on that.
When you have to pee, time slows down real hard. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah. Gotcha.
It's like
you
can't leave here for 5 more minutes, but you really got to pee. Or with movies almost over, do I stick it out or do I leave and come back? You know what I mean?
You can't stick it out in a movie theater. They'll arrest you.
That's right. Ask Pee-wee. He knows.
Ask Pee-wee. May he rest in peace. Listen, no, this is about the brain, but not just the brain, Jeff. It's actually the perception of time heavily linked to the eyes.
The eyes?
The eyes, Jeffrey. Let me ask you something. You're a real gamer.
Sure. I have a gaming podcast to prove it.
Yeah, what's up, gamers? Are there any gamers listening? Rise up. Or whatever it is we do as gamers. I gotta be, listen, this has nothing to do with anything. It's completely not germane to this process or this podcast, but I got a new video card.
You did? Nice.
I did. It was sent to me.
Okay, that's the only way to get video cards right now, I think.
Yeah. Well, it was sent to me. They're like blood diamonds. It was sent to me by a man who was shot and killed for it. He passed it to me.
Yeah.
And it was covered in his own bloody handprints. It was like,
yeah.
He was like, somebody should enjoy the fruits of my labor. And then I ran through the darkness back to my home. People chasing me.
Worth it though. You got a few extra FPSs on that bad boy.
Oh, the FIPS. But that's the thing is I put in this new video card that somebody sent to me, and it was a buddy that's over at NVIDIA. And it turns out the reason they sent it to me is I hosted NVIDIA Gaming's first ever YouTube video. And that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And so they sent me a video card as like a happy anniversary. Thank you for kicking off the YouTube channel.
Speaking of the perception of time.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, that's, well, I'll take it because it's worth more than a house.
Yeah.
But I'll cry endlessly. But no, I put the new video card in and turned on my computer and realized I don't play anything that needs a new video card.
Yeah, but it's nice to have.
I guess it's nice to have, but I listen, if this person is listening to the podcast, I'm very appreciative, and I'm finding things. I'm looking for things to play. I'm like looking through my Steam library, and I'm like, there must be something that I have that pushes a video card. And it's all, man. Like I just get nervous about the world and play Cookie Clicker. You don't need a video card for that.
Sure.
You don't need a video card to nervously just fidget.
You barely need a brain.
That's the beauty of it. Turn off brain, click for cookie. But as a gamer, Jeff, those FIPS, the hertz. Mm-hmm. You talk about your frames per second, and then your monitor has to have the hertz.
That's right.
And it turns out we're sort of the refresh rate, and it turns out our eyes are sort of like that.
Yeah, my eyes hurts all the time.
Yeah,
to stare at a screen too often. That's why it hurts.
Yeah. So, but we see at a rate that can be measured in hertz. Mm. There's actually equipment that can be used to measure how quickly a living thing sees.
Okay. What is it? What's that number? What's my top refresh rate on my eyeballs?
We're at about 240. We're at about 240 hertz.
Okay.
From what they say. Now, this is an electroretinogram.
Nice.
And it's specifically...
I am your electroretinogram.
Hey, kids, go watch Clue.
Yeah.
So the electroretinogram records the electrical activity of the retina in response to a flashing light, and then they gradually increase the rate of flicker until the animal can no longer see the flashing.
Or they have an epileptic fit, whichever comes first.
Right, and then you've diagnosed epilepsy in that animal, and you can go on a therapeutic course for that.
Yeah.
But it's not relevant to this experiment, but it is relevant to the animal.
Sure.
Having the seizure.
So you could literally dial in the point at which additional frames, let's say, are imperceptible.
Imperceptible. It's called your maximum critical flicker fusion rate.
Sick.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's pretty good. Now we see it about, like, it's crazy because we see it about 240 hertz, but our maximum critical flicker fusion rate is 65 flashes per second, flashes of light. So what I'm assuming here, assuming here is that the flashes of light they're not 1-to-1 with amount of frames. There's something about light that, I don't know, light smears over frames of perception. It's weird to try to put human perception into like an electronic, to quantify it, something like that. But what we found, Jeff, is animals that can see at a higher critical flicker fusion rate have a different perception of time.
How do we know that?
So we know it due to the speed of the animal, the speed of the reaction time, the speed of the motion. What we found is that smaller, quicker animals, or quicker animals in general, but particularly smaller, quicker animals with shorter lifespans.
Like a hummingbird.
Like a hummingbird, exactly like a hummingbird. So we're 65 flashes a second. A collared flycatcher, which is a fancy type of bird that I learned about by reading this article. The collared flycatcher, one of those little hopping birds that I love so much.
Okay.
Can see 138 flashes per second. Okay.
How do they know that?
Well, because they locked down a collared flycatcher to a Malcolm McDowell style chair. They forced its eyes open and put the drops in it and made it watch the flashes.
I don't know why I asked. That seemed obvious in retrospect.
Yeah, it was not cool for the animal. Do you really want to know how we know this about animals? Because I can go into it, but the answer is what you expect.
Torture. The answer is torture.
Yeah, the answer is animal torture. It's always animal torture. I'm sure they tried to do it in the most humane possible. And by I'm sure, I mean I'm not sure, but I hope. So the collared flycatcher gets 138 flashes per second. Now here's the one that's going to get you, Jeff. Tsetse flies and dragonflies, 300 flashes per second.
Hell yeah. They're time travelers. So what does that mean? That means time is slower for them or faster?
Oh, so this is what's crazy.
I would think slower. My instinct is more FPSs, slower time. You know, it's like how you record slow motion on video is you have more frames of the thing, right?
The idea is, according to this, it's like there's this great 1974 essay that's name checked in this article that's really great. It's by Thomas Nagel, who asked this same question. It was like, what does a second feel like to a dragonfly or a snail? And this is a philosophical essay called What Is It Like to Be a Bat? And it's like, well, we can never subjectively understand what the temporal perception of another animal feels like. We're never going to know. We're never going to really know. But by measuring the limitations of their sensory systems, we get a grasp of it. So imagine like lightning striking, right? Or somebody throwing a ball really fast.
Yeah.
Like a
bully. Like
a
think
bully.
fast.
Yeah, like going right to your eye, and you turn just in time to see it.
Yeah.
For that's like a blur, right? We register, but we don't see it in much detail. But to a dragonfly, it might be like bullet time. They literally name check Neo in the Matrix.
In 74?
Yeah, in 74.
I thought you were still talking about that guy's essay in 74.
Yeah. In 1974, he said, and there will be a movie called The Matrix.
It's pretty impressive. It seems like we're missing the real impressive thing about that essay, you know?
I don't get what you mean. I think it's there was a lot of stuff in the essay. It was talking about like temporal perception and then some winning lottery numbers. and then it predicted that you should buy Nvidia stock.
Huh.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like, hey, Apple seems like it's never gonna make a comeback, but like, trust me, invest around 1998 is what it said, and like dragonflies would know that.
The dragonflies have been telling me things.
Yeah, like it's just we flashed some light in the eyes of dragonflies, and then reflected back at us, we could see the future.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the actual article where in the article, the gentleman name checks the Matrix. So
the idea would be that because they're seeing so many more, and it is kind of like slow motion, right? It's the same principle as slow motion is that they're capturing more data. And so, I mean, data is the wrong word, but capturing more information. Right. And it is as if they can analyze each moment of that faster than we can, so it seems slower to them, right?
Yes. So, I mean, it's interesting because our inability to think about this and envision it is it's weird. It's kind of like, oh, but like it puts us at the base of the scale of perception, right? Like what is everything is measured in the one human unit, right?
Right.
But if you think about it, when we are walking and we see a snail and the snail is moving slowly, we don't think that snail is moving in slow motion. We think it's moving at snail speed, right? I mean, it is slow, but we're like, yeah, that's normal for a snail.
Yeah.
Cheetah runs by us. Cheetah's moving fast, but that's normal for a cheetah, right? So a dragonfly is looking at a ball flying through the air, and for us, it would seem slow, but to dragonfly, it's like, yeah, that's how fast ball go.
Yeah, right.
That's how fast ball go.
Right.
It's pretty nuts to think about. And then some of the other animals, particularly, it's really weird. The ocean makes all of this weird. The ocean makes everything weird.
That's true. Yeah.
I love the ocean, man. I love the ocean so
You want to
much.
get weird, go into the ocean.
You want to get weird, just get in the ocean, dog.
Dude, I read Hank Green posted a really cool thing on Blue Sky the other day. that I'd never really thought about. He said, the ocean is too deep for fish. Mm-hmm. Which is such a cool way of thinking about it. Like, there's a point at which there's no more fish in the ocean because it's too deep for fish.
No, it's the only things that can survive are the weird ass things that we were talking about the other week. The weird ass James Cameron's aliens of the deep shit.
Just nightmare creatures. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. I do want to go. Listen, as much as I want to go into space, but I know that when I go into space I'll die.
Yeah.
I also want to go deep into the ocean in a submarine, and I also know that I'll die.
Yeah. Well,
but I want to do it. And it's like,
I don't have any desire to do that. I like that people do, and they bring back video for me. I like that. I have no desire to go deep in the ocean. That is, I don't know why, but that is way scarier to me than going into space.
Oh, for a lot of people. And here's why I think it's scarier for a lot of people. We can conceive of the ocean. Right? Yeah. Like space, sort of abstractly is going to kill you, but you have no like way to think about how space would feel. Right. But you've seen the ocean, you've been to the ocean, you can conceptualize the ocean.
Yeah.
If you've ever done any like snorkeling or scuba diving or whatever, you've felt the pressure of the ocean.
Yes.
And so you're like, oh no, I know what it would be like to drown under there.
Yeah. Not good.
No. Whereas like space, you're like, who knows, dude?
Yeah. You just drift off kind of silently like George Clooney in that one movie. And you just kind of
depending on what movie you're watching, you either freeze over real quick or you like expand or like, it depends on the movie. Science depends on the movie, really.
But it always feels very tranquil, that death,
Yeah, it's not. That's the thing that's the other thing is it feels more it's just because in space you don't get the drowning noises.
No one can hear you scream.
That's the whole point of space. But no, down in the ocean we have a lot of very interesting things because in the ocean we have some of the slowest moving creatures on Earth and some of the fastest moving creatures on Earth, but not just the biggest, slowest, and the smallest, fastest, which is the most germane to this study, but also the biggest, fastest, and the smallest, slowest. So it's really crazy, like how it all works. A crown of thorns starfish, which is one of those beautiful starfish that's like it has like a bazillion D legs, and it looks like a pink flower with thorns all over it.
Yeah.
A crown of thorns starfish can only perceive 0.7 flashes of light per second and are some of the slowest moving creatures on Earth.
Yeah, that's wild. So it's literally is what we're learning that speed is actually tied to perception, that a creature may, I don't know if this is a chicken and egg kind of situation, but it feels like you can only move as fast as you can perceive.
Yes, that's exactly it. There is a theorem that they name check in this article that is called Outram's or Outram's hypothesis. And that is time perception costs a lot of energy. The ability to take in everything we see and categorize it, analyze it, understand it at the rate that we have to.
Right.
Takes up a ton of energy. It's not just our vision, but it's our brain, right? And we know that like our brain takes up a huge amount of the energy that we burn every day. And so the evolution of fast visual systems will only emerge in species with fast-paced lifestyles that need the system to keep up with the lifestyle.
Right.
It's just like how I'm making so much money that I gotta buy a Lambo.
Right. You need to go fast because your lifestyle requires it.
I don't have any downtime. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Hey, if you're over 30 and your network doesn't include a crown of thorns starfish, a tsetse fly.
No, but it does feel to me like a chicken and egg thing. It's like, okay, well, does the lifestyle need the optical system to work at a high pace, or did the high pace enable the faster lifestyle? You know what I mean?
So, yeah. And that's something that this study was looking into. And what they found is they think it is speed, they think it is lifestyle, and the visual system catches up. And sort of the animal that needs a fast lifestyle, that has the fastest perception, will be the one that is naturally selected.
Right.
So they were looking into, they found the highest rates of temporal perception in species that had behavior that required the fast reaction time. So like animals that fly, right? They're naturally moving at faster speeds than land animals by default. And then predators that pursue prey. And this is where you get into the weirdness of the ocean. A yellowfin tuna, one of those gigantic fucking tuna fish. Mm-hmm. They swim at 70 kilometers per hour. They're called the cheetah of the sea, which I did not know.
Huh, I didn't either.
This article is full of fun facts for parties. That's one of the best. Listen, if you're going to do a science article, can we talk? We've talked a lot about this. If you're going to do a science article, give me the meat of what you're saying. But then give me 3 fun facts for a party.
Think of the parties. That's what we always want to tell the scientists: is think of the parties.
Yeah, think about partying for once in your life, nerds. Is what we want to say, because we are, of course, as we keep telling you, bullies from a 1980s film.
That's right. We are the coolest guys we know.
That's right. We want to tear down your family's home to build a ski lodge.
That's exactly. We want to keep you out of this fraternity.
That's right. That's right. We want you on the bench, nerd. We don't want you put in the game, and we don't want you looking at our girlfriend.
No way. If we had one.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They also found that like smaller species tend to skew towards faster vision in general. Even if they don't move fast, being smaller tends to give them faster vision on average than animals that move at the same speed but are larger.
Now, I would be very curious as to what the small, fast-visioned thing that moves slow is all about. Like, what's the deal with that? You know what I mean?
Well, they think some of it may be because the relationship is stronger in aquatic environments to size in general, and they think it's probably because water allows for more instantaneous movement.
Yeah.
So probably in general, smaller animals in the water need faster vision than smaller animals on land, just because they're moving more quickly than like walking speed on a plane, you know?
Yeah.
So they think that probably is part of it. They have also noticed that like animals that live in darker environments, regardless of size and speed, just tend to obviously have slower vision.
Less to see. And not just less to see, but less light to see it in. And so just like a camera, less to process.
Having one of these slower vision systems allows them to process and see more data.
You're opening the aperture.
Which is wild to think about, but that makes sense. You think about our pupils, our pupils and irises expanding and contracting. I mean, that's where the idea for the camera lens came from.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But they were talking about things like the tokay geckos, and also, things like bats. Bats don't need it as much.
Well,
right?
They don't have any visual perception. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's the slowest perception of all is sound.
Yeah, potentially. What I love is there's a deep sea fish called the escalar, 12 flashes per second. All right. Humans, 65 flashes per second. So I want to list some of these things because you'll find them interesting, I think.
65.
65
That
hertz.
seems low for humans.
It seems low, but that's why I'm like, oh, so frames per second doesn't have anything to do with the amount of flashes per second.
Yeah.
But also I think another thing that we've talked about before is the brain does a lot of interpolation.
Yeah, right. Predictive.
Like filling things in and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. It's almost like, to go back to real gamer speak, it's like frame generation a little bit.
Thanks, NVIDIA, for sponsoring this episode.
Once again, they said right in the article in 1974, invest in NVIDIA.
Yeah. It's interesting if it is like frame generation. You know, I think we talked a long time ago about the notion that our vision, we're not experiencing time sort of as it's happening. Our brain is, reinterpreting a moment that has already occurred, or anticipating a moment that is about to occur and presenting it to us. Our senses are presenting it to us in sort of a shifted temporal reality.
Yeah.
And I wonder if all animals are like that. I assume so.
You would think that on some level you would have to be, because that sort of prediction, I forget what it is. I think it's something like we're doing like 100 milliseconds of processing before we actually see, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Having the ability to fill in that predictive information is probably very important, probably more important for some species than others for survival, but certainly important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. So we're at 65. Rats are at 47.
Fuck you, rats.
Fuck you, rats. Dogs, 84.
Well, hello. Look at you, dog.
They're running faster than us.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And they're such good boys when they do it.
They are.
They're such good boys when they do it. And then in the sea, like I said, you have something like the giant, the tuna, the yellowfin tuna, which is going at a few hundred.
I bet cats are faster than dogs.
Probably, and they don't list cats here. Probably not.
Couldn't round one up for testing. They're like,
that's right, because they're too quick. Probably just
quick.
all dog people. Probably just thought, and they're like,
no one had one.
It's like, and the scientists are like, it's not that I don't like cats. Like when I grew up, like my family had cats. Like I like them, but it's just like I prefer when I'm strapping down and torturing an animal. I prefer a dog.
Yeah, the day of testing, everybody had to bring in an animal, and some people brought in their dogs. Some guy brought in his spiny-backed starfish.
Yeah, an escala.
Yeah. Everybody brought in their own thing,
A tokay gecko. It was like, I guess, and they looked around, they're like, I guess we're just not cat people, which is crazy because, like, the nice thing about, like, experimenting on dogs, you have to keep checking in on the dog. The dog can't be left alone strapped down to the chair, right?
Yeah, right.
A cat, you can kind of strap down to the chair and then go out of town for a couple days.
That's right.
You can have another scientist. You could have another scientist come by and check in on the experiment, every once in a while.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't need to put them in a daycare.
The experiment will just have a dead bird laying next to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? And the dead bird is strapped to a little dead chair. But there is aquatic environments. There's a species here, Jeff, that I'm going to give you space for. I saw this one and I was like, I'm going to let Jeff do it. A 1 gram. This is 1 gram. This fish.
Tiny little guy.
Tiny little guy. It's a 3-spined stickleback fish. Go ahead.
Stickleback?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that fish's first album, but
that's right.
Not much later than that.
The internet makes fun of the stickleback fish a lot.
Sure.
But the stickleback, I think it's mostly just kind of piling on for the trend. I think if you played a lot of the stickleback fish's hits, people would enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. The stickleback fish is not the worst thing to come out of Canada. You know what I'm saying?
No, certainly not. The stickleback fish is at 67 hertz, a 350 kilogram leatherback. The big boy gator boy.
Yeah, leatherback.
15 hertz.
He doesn't need your hertz, buddy. He delivers the hertz. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Leatherback is moving slow, and you got to get out of the way.
And then things like a giant deep sea isopod, 4 hertz.
Wow.
The tokay gecko that they tested, 21 hertz. So it's kind of interesting because
I'm surprised the gecko is slower than a human. You know,
gecko's slower than a human because it's nocturnal.
Right. Interesting. So, I mean, obviously, this deals with their perception of time. And,
yes.
you know, it makes sense because lifespans are different as well for these creatures, right? And you would assume their perception of time is also sort of relevant to their lifespan.
Yeah. So it's funny. You wondered if there is a standardized feeling of lifespan,
right,
among animals,
right.
You wonder if there is like we all basically feel like we make it about a century.
Yeah, but for them, that's the time unit to us is shorter, but to them it feels as lengthy.
Yeah, they feel 3 days for a tsetse fly feels like 86 years to me.
Yeah.
Feels like 20 years to a dog. Like you wonder if it kind of evens out.
Yeah.
Because you wonder if the amount of data, like if we're saying the amount of data is relative and everything feels normal, right? Like like the hummingbird doesn't see the ball moving in slow motion. It simply sees a ball moving at regular ball speed.
Right.
So you wonder if the amount of data becomes normalized in something's because time perception is also tied to the emotional centers of the brain. Mm-hmm. So the feeling of time, right?
Yeah.
The emotional, in so much as an animal feels emotion, certainly it's even in the smallest animals, it's a physiological reaction, right? Mm-hmm. You wonder if all of that normalizes out.
Yeah,
and that's where we get to that frustrating. You can never know what it is like to be a bat.
Right. Yeah. But it does feel like the imaginative version of when I fling my fly swatter toward the fly.
Yeah.
And it dodges out of the way with plenty of time,
Right.
It's easy to imagine that to the fly, it's like, oh, look, that thing's coming at me. I should probably move. It doesn't, I don't imagine it as them just having liquid quick movement speed. I imagine it as them going like, oh yeah, that's coming. Time to leave.
Yeah. It's like you see, to them, it's like, it's not jumping out of the way of a cyclist. It's seeing the cyclist half a block away.
Right. Yes.
And they're just like, oh shit. All right, let me get out of that guy's way. He's clearly swatting at something.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in his way in the way of whatever he's swatting at.
But it's like, okay, I mean, again, this is
Can't be me. If he was swatting at me, he'd be doing it at a much faster speed.
That's right. I mean, this is all very like, stoned dorm room talk, but
Time gets like that though, doesn't it?
It always does. And it's my favorite
Time's one of
thing
those
to talk
things.
about. I love it.
Time's one of those things. I wonder if, so the person who wrote this article, this is Kevin Healy, who is a lecturer in macroecology at the University of Galway in Ireland. You wonder if like the people who study time are high all the time too.
Probably,
right?
It helps. But no, like I'm sure you've had this experience many times, as I have, walking down like a New York City street, and you're walking faster than everybody else, and you're dodging, you're zipping and moving and weaving in and out of people walking towards you, and some guy stopped in front of you with his dog, and there's a cart selling hot dogs, and you're weaving around, you're moving, and you're dealing with all of these stimuli deftly, and you feel like you're just like in the zone, moving, you're just weaving in and out of things. And then you can imagine like a turtle in that same situation. And there's all these human bodies coming at it, and it's just incapable of dealing with that kind of stimuli. That same amount of movement and reaction time is just impossible for it to, it's just going to. So if you can transpose that the other direction and go, the fly is me in this New York City street for stuff that is too fast for me.
Yeah. I think about it as when I moved from New York to San Francisco.
Yeah.
When I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, I got sidewalk rage all the time because nothing was moving quickly enough.
Yeah.
Nothing was moving quickly enough. But this is where I also like bring in that sort of nervous system, emotional, whatever, like the emotional centers of the brain and the time centers of the brain are connected. I was a much more anxious person from living in New York in that speed and keeping up with that speed all the time. Right. And it's almost like, it's funny to read about the physiological connection, the biological connection, because it is almost like I was overtaxing my systems to keep up with that speed, right? Like everybody in New York is just a little more on edge, right? And it's a stereotype, but it is a little true. And then I moved to San Francisco. I was like, where are we? Why isn't anybody moving? Move. Aren't we going somewhere? Aren't we, you know?
Yeah.
And my partner at the time, I remember she was just like, hey, chill, we're just walking to coffee.
Yeah.
Like there's no time that we have to get to coffee. Like there's no,
but your internal
moment.
rhythm was sped up. Your internal rhythm was working at a higher rate than the environment around you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you wonder how that all works, because you also think about, stories that we've done before where, maybe like a car accident or something like that, and the amount, like the time slowing down in a near-death experience, and how people talk about how they could see everything very clearly.
And
it's like,
process
in order
that.
in order to do that, you have to like really tax your system at an energy rate, like an energy burn rate for your brain and your body that is not sustainable. So like if you've ever had one of those moments, and you can think on that moment and remember it, that's probably the closest to one of these, like what life is like for one of these faster animals all the time.
Yeah. And I wonder,
I mean, they don't say that in the paper, but that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy. I think the easiest way for me to conceptualize it is in watching video that is recorded at different frame rates, right? Because you're talking about, frames per second. And it's like, okay, to the turtle on the New York City street, it's like it's like you took a time lapse video. And for them, like the guy was here, and the next time I know it, the guy is here. And because I'm only getting those frames of perception, and so it's got to be very disorienting. But then I think to myself, okay, well, for me, something moving extremely fast like the hummingbird or whatever, it's hard. It's awesome when the hummingbird hovers in one spot because you can see it, but then trying to track it really close to your face or something, you're only seeing it here. And it's like I'm watching the time lapse video now.
Yeah. They even say that, some of these animals, as your perceptive rate gets slower, this hertz rate, this refresh rate gets slower, a lot of fast motion you just don't even see.
Yeah, right.
And so the idea that like, oh no, that must be stressful for them all the time. Certain environments are, I'm sure. You're not supposed to take a turtle and put it on a New York City street. But for the environment that the animal is in, motion at that speed is irrelevant.
Yeah, right. That's right.
You know?
That's exactly
the
right.
hummingbird's motion to us, the dragonfly's motion to us, we can barely see it because it's kind of irrelevant.
You just disregard it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like nothing this dragonfly is going to do is really going to mess with me on a day to day. Like, it's outside of my, you know, it's almost like when we talk about, you know, how much can an ant see and tell what we are?
Right.
You know, or does the ant even perceive us? This really is stoner.
I mean, it's super stoner because because it really does feel like, you know, they reference Neo, and it really does feel like if you just had a more open aperture, to use that metaphor, or we're just able to process more information, you really could be working at bullet time, right?
Yeah.
You could. It is not a limitation of movement. Obviously, the bullet is moving that fast. It is a limitation of perceiving the data or accepting enough of the data to be able to perceive all of the intermittent frames of the bullet getting to you, you know?
And we weren't supposed to have bullets.
That's true.
So that's why, like,
evolutionarily, we're not prepared for it.
Yeah, we're just not supposed to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah. Nothing as we are moving up the evolutionary ladder required us to deal with that much information.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fascinating. Like, the idea that it's so funny how much humans always tie things to whatever the current human technology is.
Yeah.
So we've talked before about how back in Greek times, the human body worked on steam and humors.
Yeah, right.
And then, you know, after the invention of the clock and the watch, it was a clockwork universe, right?
Right.
It was the subtle and small and complex machinery of man and nature. But now it's so funny. We like thinking about it in terms of computers and gaming and you know, and technology and all this stuff. It is really funny because the other thing I think about that allows me to understand this is back in the day when they used to develop video games, they would tie the logic of the video game to the frame rate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like they're unplayable now because the computers are faster, and so it makes the whole game broken.
Yes, like the Legend of Zelda 64 was only meant to move at 20 frames per second.
Yeah.
If you run Zelda 64 faster than 20 frames per second, it falls apart. Things break. It doesn't just like move too fast. Game logic breaks.
Yeah.
And when they did, like, there are these teams that are taking the old code from old games and trying to like make them work on PCs. And they have to write very complex code to keep the internal of the game running at 20 frames a second.
Yeah.
But somehow like use different code to make it feel and act like 60. But that's what it feels like. It feels like our processor, our brain, our engines are tied to the hertz that we run at.
Yeah. Right.
And if you were to speed that up or slow it down, it would fundamentally change the way the world works and the way reality works for us.
Yeah. I wonder if that's more a function of the eye or a function of the brain. You know, is it interpretive or is it, you know, optical?
So it's both, according to this study, and they want to dive more into it. But they are tied together. Like, your eye needs to be able, and your ocular nerves and things like that, the things that take in the data have to be able to take in the data that quickly.
Yeah.
But then your brain is also doing all of the processing in like I was saying, in your emotional centers.
Yeah.
Which are the lowest latency centers of your brain. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we talk about like the frontal lobe and things like that. Your emotional reactions, that's why we're always like, oh, if you're having an emotional reaction, you've got to stop, you've got to breathe, you've got to try to use your highest mind, right? Your highest mind is your frontal lobe. It's the prefrontal cortex. It's all the fancy human stuff we have. Emotion, lizard.
Yeah.
Emotion, basic. Emotion,
happens quick.
Tied quickest to body so you can jump and run.
Right. Yes.
If scary, then run.
Yeah.
Run as fast as can.
Right. Do not think. Do not stop.
Yeah. So it's really cool that means that like our eyes and our perception of time is really connected to like the bare metal, man. Mm-hmm. It's the quickest, simplest reactionary bits we can have.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting that it's like, as the other thing that I think about this is it's interesting how much we think of ourselves as logical creatures of higher thought, things like that. But our very foundational perception of reality is tied to the basest level of us.
Right. Yes. The thing that we're trying to transcend with our logic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are, it feels like we are inextricably tied to it at a base fundamental level.
Yes. Not just experientially, but literally temporally.
Yeah. Your brain is waiting for the data.
That's right.
The data cannot come in any faster.
Yeah. And I guess
that's so cool to me.
It is really cool. I guess the answer to that, chicken or egg thing that I posed earlier is really neither, right? It's all of it developed in tandem. It all gets developed in tandem. It's all the pressures of natural selection are being applied evenly across everything all the time, every moment of every moment. Like all of existence is being tested by natural selection throughout the evolutionary process. And
it's all incremental.
There's no chicken or egg. It's just, these pressures are all exerting on all facets. So yes, the smaller thing perceives the thing faster because all of it is interconnected and all of it is evolving at the same time. Yeah.
It's neat.
It's
what a neat article.
Neat. Yeah. Super neat.
Yeah. Thank you to Old Cahoots for sending this in. We appreciate it.
So great.
If you want to get stoned and talk about time with us, I mean, we're down. I'm always down.
Always down. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it on the Discord. You can head there if you are a patron. Go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. And for just $1 a month, you can join that Discord. And I just want to say, like, I know we have patrons that don't use Discord.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, it's not scary. It's not scary. Try the Discord. You're going to like it. It's fun. It's old school chat rooms, but it's old school chat rooms where weird people can't jump in and ruin things.
Yeah. It's a really nice place with a lot of really great people that have been with us for many, many years and, welcoming, lovely folks. So yeah, jump in. And hey, if you're not a patron and you got a little chuckle or you learned something, maybe consider becoming one. Like Anthony said, $1 gets you into the Discord, but there's better perks for a little more. If you want to support the show, make sure we keep going. You can get extra content, extra episodes, all kinds of cool stuff. All of it available for you at patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.